If you can't stick to something for 5 fucking days, you deserve to have a shitty life. You deserve to get your ass kicked. You deserve to be miserable. We're talking about 5 fucking days. We're not talking about 50 years. We're not talking about the 5 years it probably takes to build something worthwhile. We're not talking about the 5 months it could take for you to lose 100 pounds. We're talking about 5 fucking days. And you can't even stick to it for that. So what the do you think you deserve? You deserve exactly what you get.
That's the video that really drove me for about the first 25 days or so until I was able to get into the rooms of AA and embrace the AA concepts and culture, if you will. And, you know, I didn't know this guy. His name's Andy Frisella. I didn't know it at the time. I still don't know him. He doesn't know me. But yet he had a huge impact on my sobriety and my story, if you will. And that's kind of the whole point of us being here on this rock that we call Earth, right? Is to help others. And we can help others in so many different ways. He happened to help me through video. You can, hopefully these videos are helping you, okay? You can help people in different ways, through text message, phone call, just meeting face to face, in an actual AA meeting, sharing your experience, strength, and hope. At the end of the day, helping others is what keeps us sober. And it's so important. Bill and Bob wrote an entire chapter, chapter 7, called Working with Others, that deals with what has come to be known as sponsorship and how to handle those things. And I encourage you guys to go through pages 89 through 103. That's chapter 7. And it will walk you through a couple things that I have jotted down here. You know, the very first line of chapter 7 says, nothing ensures immunity to alcoholism like working in intensive work with other alcoholics. That's my goal, is to stay sober, right? So whatever we got to do to stay sober, I don't care if it's picking up new hobbies. I don't care if it's I go run. That's my gig, is I go run, okay? But I don't rely just on those things to help keep me sober. What I do rely on is chapter 7, saying if I want to stay sober, I need to work with others. And so I do rely upon that. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to we want to stay sober. So when you start working with others, and you approach somebody, or somebody approaches you, first and foremost, don't be an evangelist. Don't you don't want to scream from the mountaintops, that AA is the only way of life and blah 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 blah. You're going to come to find out that some people you talk to, so they'll tell you, yeah, I don't think that's for me. I'll go try my own way. Okay, encourage them to follow their own conscience. But don't evangelize AA. Remember, each person's experience is their own experience. So it's theirs to tell. And your experience may affect other people to where they go, man, this guy knows what the hell he's talking about. Or it may affect other people in the sense that they go, yeah, I don't think this guy is going to be beneficial for me. I don't think his experience, strength, and hope is going to work for me. That's okay. That's okay. So don't evangelize. Every person's experience is their own, for sure. But it's because of your personal experiences that you can be of help to some. You're not going to be able to save everybody. No doubt about it. Keith used to always tell me, I'll probably end up killing more people than I help. It's a dark truth, for sure. You want to find out as much as you can about the person that is wanting you to be wanting you to be their sponsor. Don't waste time if they're not interested. You could be missing out on helping someone else. So you don't want to go chasing somebody who's said, I'm not really sure, or if they're not returning phone calls or whatever. You don't want to go chasing them down and begging them to let you be their sponsor, because you could be missing out an opportunity to help someone else. That's a very critical point. Let the family, let that person's family or friends, let them come to them and say, hey, look, you just went out on a bender. Do you want help? Are you willing to go to any lengths possible? Don't let the family and friends, though, tell your story. Give them just enough to say, hey, look, if you talk to Jimmy or John or whoever, kind of here's a little bit of my background. You don't want them to tell your story because you want to be the one to tell your story to that person because that's how they're going to connect, right? The goal here is for them to connect with your story, with your experience, strength, and hope and go, you know what? He does know what the hell he's talking about. He does understand this idea of alcoholism. Let him talk. If he doesn't really want to talk, just give him an outline, a general sketch of your own drinking career up until the point when you stop drinking. Most importantly, don't tell him he's an alcoholic. Do not tell him he is an alcoholic. Let him come to that own conclusion on his own. It's imperative. Ask JD about his experience with Keith. So it's a prime example, class A example. Explain the physical and mental side, the hopelessness, the despair that you felt whenever you were in your addiction. You were at the point right up until you stopped and you wanted to turn things around. Again, the goal here is for him to connect with something you said, something in your experience, strength, and hope, and go, you know what? This guy's got it. Josh, my sponsor, man, every time he spoke, I was just on edge. I was on the edge of my seat because he had already demonstrated early on, not talking to me, but just sharing in the rooms, not talking to me directly. He'd already demonstrated he had what I wanted. And so every time he spoke, man, I was on the edge of my seat. Assure him he doesn't have to subscribe to religion. That's another one. A lot of folks, me personally, I was turned off to AA early on, way back when, because they were talking about God and this spirituality. And I already knew enough about God to know that I don't want anything to do with God. And so that was critical. Let them know they don't have, this is not about religion. This has nothing at all to do with religion. Point to the different references in the books where Bill is saying, we don't care what religious denomination the person may be affiliated with. Again, give them an outline of the program of action for that point going forward. Let him know kind of the generalized steps, and then give him time to think. He's got to come to his own conclusion. Do not push, do not prod. Again, he's got to make that decision for himself. Encourage him to follow his own conscience. And always remember, the guy could still say, you know what, this isn't going to work for me. Okay, guess what? You helped yourself stay sober by talking to him, and that's very, very critical. So guys, on page 89 through 103, go through, study it. If you have questions, reach out. I'll be talking to you guys more personally about working with others and kind of give you some insight on how I personally do things. Also, at the bottom of the screen, right below the screen here, is a big fat register button. You can click on that now and enter in just a few brief fields of information and submit it. And what will happen is every time a new video is uploaded, you will get a text message notification or an email notification, or both. You can have both as well. So click on that button below. That way you don't have to worry about these group text messages and all that stuff. I mean, this is just a one-on-one. You'll get a single text message to your own device saying that, hey, there's a new video, or you'll get one email to just your email address saying, hey, there's a new video. You don't have to worry about the group text or group messaging and none of that stuff. So anyway, I love you guys. I can't wait to see you guys again. I hope you guys are going to have a kick-ass day. And we will be talking tomorrow, the last day of the year. So just remember, I love you guys, and you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.